And what we're doing is taking our assembled seat post here, which I've put a little more grease on, as you can see. And we're just putting it into the frame here. Taking some of my excess grease here. Which is going to be a fair amount of. See how nice that works? As opposed to a totally dry seat post, what we found, that hadn't had grease probably ever since it came out of the factory. Well, we can get under here. And tighten that bottom nut, hopefully. At least that's the plan. Sometimes you get to take it back out. You don't have quite enough threads. And you don't know until you put it in. Which is what I just discovered. So, we're going to, I want just enough threads to actually be able to tighten it and make it snug. Again, that's my opinion. We're going to take it back out here. If you ever wondered why always this is all full of grease and grime, that's why. If it ever bothers wiping that back off when we assemble this stuff. So I'm going to take it back over to our table over there and tighten these little nuts back down a little more and give us more threads here. Bring the camera over on this side. Obi's in the kitchen made us a lovely dinner of shrimp and rice. And we'll readjust this picture here. There we go. And bring that in, whoops, in a little closer. That's like that. Okay, let me get some tools. Handful of grease, so they're in solvent. Unfull of grease. Here's our clean and drifting tools. Tighten this up a little more. Take it back over there and see what we got. So, take this off. Okay. So, you just want to take everything down a bit more. I don't have my up close glasses on, so I've got to kind of put a little bit of that. Give it a few more threads. Up there. Listen with us. Just spin it around here. You expect to have grease all over your clothes, all over your shirt, everywhere. If you can do this without doing that, you're a better man than me. I get it all over myself. In case, if you're wondering, yes, I went home and showered and changed clothes because I was playing around with gunk and Simple Green. And just the spray gets in my hair, and my beard, and my clothes, and I smell it, and I can't handle the smell for that long. Mess. So. We're going to take this back over. Bring the camera back over. You reposition it here. Bring it just a little bit. There we go. Now, let's see what we got. Now, some of you are going, well, why didn't that idiot do all that before he put all that grease all over it? Because I want to see what this is at the same time. You can certainly do that, but I didn't do that. It's kind of like, do I skin the cat going from the feet, or do I skin the cat going from the head? Lots of different ways to walk around the oak tree. As long as you achieve the same end, that's what matters. Okay, now we've got plenty of threads on the bottom. And hopefully we don't have too many threads. Then we get to take it back out again. You don't want the thread sticking out past the nut. Unless you want to have a problem pulling the whole thing back apart again. Perfect. I'm going to grab the camera here and show you the bottom of what we just did. So some of you guys may never have been down underneath the bike. So let's see here. There is our little nut. And you see our threads are still inside the nut. If they're sticking out past that, if you bottom out on something right there, which is sure if those threads are sticking out, that's where you're going to hit it. Then you screw it up. But this here is the bottom of our seat post nut. And you don't want those threads sticking out past that nut. So that's fine. So I'm going to put the camera back over here. Okay. Let's see how clean or not so clean. Don't really want to take this bike down to the bare frame. That's not the intent here. The intent here is to get what needs to be done greasy and juicy and happy. And since it's coming apart anyhow, clean up a little around here or there, since it's already apart anyhow, and you get it to fire up and ride it a little bit. Doesn't need a frame up mechanical. Got plenty of other bikes that does need. So we don't really want to do that to this bike. So we have our seat post, nice and bouncy. And we have our special nut, shoulder nut, or bolt rather. It was the correct original bolt it came with. Correct nut and lock washer. I'm going to take a little bit of this excess here, put it on here. And notice this has an area here for extra grease, which is a corresponding area inside. So we want to take some grease here and put it in the hole like so. So when we put this together, pushes through, it creates a grease pack in there. That. There. Now, hopefully I'm not making too much of a mess. Cloth to wipe my fingers off. Now the concept of this is that your T pivots on that bushing on the grease, and this nut holds the bushing in place. So you just need a light coat of grease. It doesn't actually get greased when you grease it. You want a light coat so it doesn't seize with any moisture. It's not going to get greased whenever you grease this sort of thing. That's not how it works. There is threads on this side here. Have a clean paper towel. Wipe the little hands off again. So 9/16 on one side and 1/2 inch on the other. Come on. Tighten up, baby. What you want is snug. You don't want any more than snug, because this lock nut and washer, because this is threaded, is what's going to tighten it. No more than snug, remember that. It's stupid important. About 5 pounds of torque. You can feel it. Now you got to check the clearance on your gas tank. if this lock washer is in the way, you gotta take it off. It doesn't have to be there. It may rub on the inside of your tank. This bike here, if any of you guys remember, had washers on either side that they put on. The factory has to clearance it. It doesn't just fit. So we got to watch this. We might have to pull this back off, pull this lock washer back off when we assemble these tanks. So these bikes are funny. You can have 100 of them in a row. Each one's going to run a little different. Each one's going to be assembled a little different. They are identical in a way, but each one is its own machine. It's like 100 women in a row. They all got the same parts, but each one's different. Okay. This is going to go on here. We have our pin and our little spring clip in the tank. And there's our nice little seat post, just like that. Okay? That's how she goes. Now if you'll notice, there's no side-to-side play. Okay? This is perfect. If you notice, it's got grease. You can physically see the grease. I'm showing you that for a reason. If you guys watch the videos, you've all heard me bitch and complain about Duncan. All right? This is a frame-up machine that Duncan built. This is a frame-up machine that Duncan built, down to the bare frame. No grease, wobbling in the hole. What the fuck is up with that? That's the ace mechanic Duncan charging me big money to be an asshole. Can't even rebuild a seat post. They all saw how simple that was. It doesn't get any more simpler than that. Can't even rebuild a seat post. They certainly charged me the money. So some of you guys go, why'd you pay him money when you could do it yourself? Because when I'm doing this, as much as I love doing this, I'm not out running around making some money so I can get some more of this and pay my bills. That's a problem. So let's come down to it. Here we are. I'm doing it myself. And as long as I can continue doing it myself, we will do it myself. That way it's done right. So this is the proper way to build a seat post. You do not have to have all this extra grease around the outside, but you do need some grease on the seat post because it goes up and down. Okay, this is a functioning unit. If you don't see grease on the outside, you got a problem. It's called dirt. And dirt's going to wear it out, and it's going to look just like that. It'll be a problem. It'll wear itself out. This is how it's supposed to function. So, you can leave this grease around here. It's going to go everywhere as you ride it, or you can wipe off a lot of the excess. We're going to wipe it off. We're going to leave it like that because some of it will literally into the inside over the next couple of days, and then we'll wipe it off because we're not going to ride it right now, obviously. So we're going to let it literally soak itself down into the slot. And maybe a little, might be a lot. It depends on how hot it gets. We'll come back off and wipe off the excess here later. So there it is. It's nice and juicy. This is how your seat post is supposed to function, guys. This is one of the most ignored pieces on these motorcycles. I don't know why. Nobody ever does it. It's stupid easy. It's stupid simple. And you get that crap over there from professional mechanics. So that's seat post 101. We'll do the same thing on the 38 when we get that cleaned. Being it's a 38 knucklehead, stuff like that's all over the place. Being this is Greenie and all the excitement over this bike, we're still documenting everything we're doing. And let me state this quite coherently on camera. The reason why I'm documenting everything on this bike was because the massive amount of intensity of scrutiny over this bike when I bought it. Now, that might be because of the money, It might be because of the bike. It might be because it's me who bought it. I have my own theories. I think it's because it's me who bought it. I think if anybody else had bought it, nobody had said a thing. That's my theory. But for whatever the reason, I've decided to document every little nut and bolt of whatever I do with this bike, just because. Why not? It's my bike, it's my YouTube. If you want to watch it, great. If you don't, click the button and shut it off. So we're going to document it, and more importantly, when I'm 80 years old, I can look back and go, wow, I did that. I can watch my own videos. Because I won't remember a thing when I'm 80, if I'm like anybody else. And if I do, I'm doing better than most. So, I've done a ton of stuff 30 years ago, and I got this much memory of it, because I didn't have this kind of technology then. So we're going to document it now. We can look back on it later. If you guys want to watch the rodeo, here we go. And that's what we're doing. It's not trying to make this bike any more than what it is. I know what it is. I bought it. I don't care about anybody else's opinions. Doesn't matter. I didn't buy it for anybody else. I bought it for me. It's the only reason why I bought it. So now that we got that straight, I will see you guys in the next video.